This video is brought to you by America First Insight. Help support the growing conservative movement by becoming a member today. And if you want to support this channel, you can also use the code REAL when becoming a member. Thank you and enjoy the video. So this is a different type of video. We have somebody here with us today. It's the fan favorite Tyrone that decided to show up today for once.
Good morning, everybody. Hope you're all having a blessed Sunday when this goes out.
Yep, so I decided to bring him on today because there's a lot going on with the Charlie Kirk murder. We have a lot to talk about. We have to talk about the newest update by Spencer Cox, what's actually going on, because Tyrone actually knows a bit more about this than I do. Like, I sometimes can be a panikin when it comes to stuff like this, so that's why I had Tyrone here. He wanted to join, so let's start the big update of the morning. Spencer Cox has just confirmed that, yes, Tyler Robinson had a boyfriend who was transitioning from being a male to a female. And Spencer Cox just confirmed this on ABC News. We heard about this last night from, I think Axios was actually the first to report it. Yeah.
It was Axios, and then it was Washington Post.
Yep.
Yeah.
And the funny thing was, it was actually Fox News that first reported on it. But everyone was saying, oh, that's a far-right news source. Can't believe that. But now it's confirmed that, yes, this was a boyfriend that was transitioning to a female. We can confirm that that's what happened here. That's, like, listen, that's just confirmed. That's not speculation, is 100% confirmed that, yes, Tyler Robinson had a boyfriend that was transitioning to be a female. And even the neighbors confirmed that they said they did some weird stuff. But we'll get to that stuff in a little bit. Tyrone, are you really surprised by this? Like...
I mean, honestly, look, I've already said it on a couple of my tweets, but back in the day, when I was more of a terminally online lurker on Discord, back in the glory days of post Charlottesville 2017 to 2020-ish, before Discord became extremely super duper mainstream, Discord was where you went to for all the cool kid underground discussions, whether you were going into like hard right or left communist or fascist or anarcho-capitalist, whatever, any kind of dissident political discourse you wanted to engage with, you went on to Discord. That legacy has lingered. I've been in these kinds of circles before where I went in under an anonymous account. It doesn't surprise me at all, because usually when you find guys who are that fervent, they've always got their own clique, especially gay and trans communities. They stick together like fucking gorilla glue.
Yeah, so I mean, that, like, this was a speculation early on. In fact, the first report was from, I think Steven Crowder. He was the first one to report from the ATF that they found, like, the encasings and stuff. And there was speculation early on about the transgender stuff. It was confirmed that no, Robinson himself was a transgender, but it wasn't far off from the truth, actually. It was actually just his boyfriend was, or whatever. So,
Yeah.
this is a big deal, because now you have a potential motive here. We gotta be clear, we don't know for sure, but that's kind of what's leaning towards. That he did not like Charlie Kirk, but...
We don't know for all that we know for certain that we need to say right now. All the immediately available information is that this person was very obviously a left-leaning demagogue. Yep. Where they had, hey, fascist, catch this, and if you read this, you're gay, Lamel, type fucking soy-ass Reddit humor on it, the kind of shit that is just embarrassing, to say the least, to deal with.
And then we learned that, you know, he never donated to any Republicans, so that argument fell apart. And then, like, his friends were saying, yeah, he was always a leftist, but then in his, like, sophomore year, he lost it or something. Like, so we've been hearing about this stuff for a couple of days now, but now this seals the deal. Now they're trying to claim that it's still, like, a right-winger, like, somehow they were into this stuff. It's bullshit.
Yeah, it's bullshit, but I'd like to focus on the actual substance of what we're going to get into today here.
I just want to talk about the context of, like, what the new information is, because that's kind of what my goal is. I want to talk about any updates we got. So it's a pretty big deal. But let's start with what is potentially a bigger deal. The FBI and state law enforcement has expanded their investigation of Charlie Kirk's assassination to determine if leftist groups in Utah had knowledge before the shooting, or if they lent material to support him afterward. One of these groups has since deleted their social profiles. And this is confirmed by Axios yet again, that yes, they are looking into these leftist groups in Utah. Now explain why this is a big deal, Tyrone. Just explain.
So, when you're talking about, and like I said, like wrapping this back to what I said, these groups are extremely interconnected. They use Discord, Twitter, they're like, especially the Gen Z guys, they use anonymous Discord, Twitter accounts for fucking everything. Some of them even use like Threema and Signal. You would be incredibly hard pressed to find a group like this that doesn't have embarrassingly bad OPSEC. You can find this stuff extremely readily online. They are going to find things that connect them back to to other DSAs and the national DSA. Like, mark my words, that's what's going to happen. This isn't just some one-off instance of a small cell. This is the definition of like a collective hive mind of people who have the same ideological purviews and goals here.
Yeah, I should be clear that not everybody in the DSA is like this. I should be clear about that right away. But there
But the
is,
vast majority of them are, just to be clear.
yeah, I mean, like the problem is though, it's like that there is a lot going on here. Now you got these groups like this group called Armed Queer Salt Lake City that they posted some radical stuff, but then magically, right when Kirk got shot, their account got deleted. I wonder what happened here. So this is a pretty big deal because we were worried about them not investigating this. To me, this sounds like they got some wind of some of the info we're actually learning on Twitter, because we've learned last night that there's a bunch of accounts just on Twitter where they're saying like 3 days beforehand, yeah, Charlie Kirk's get shot in this, or not directly Kirk's gonna get shot, but they said, wait for the 10th, you know, it's gonna be a great day, and then a day later it happens, and they're celebrating we did it. So that's what they're finding publicly. What did those Discord DMs show? Because we heard a little bit about that yesterday, like 20 people were in a group chat with him, and they did nothing about it. The more we're hearing about this looks like a conspiracy. This looks like a full-blown conspiracy with like 20 different people at least. I don't know, but what do you guys say, Tyrone? It's kind of your show, I guess, today, so.
It's absolutely a conspiracy. And I don't mean that in the case of like, oh, they're like all interconnected and... Hold on.
What?
Sorry, I was responding to something. The definition of like a conspiracy, when you actually go back to the progenitor of like the modern conception of the word with like Machiavelli, it's not everyone's interconnected, bro. This is a group of people with like-minded ideals and goals, and they have a rough understanding of what they need to do. Like that is the definition, especially if it's a closed doors sort of thing.
Yeah. I mean, we found like 6 people already that knew about this beforehand, and that's in public. That's just like basic, like looking at Twitter. And when you have a conspiracy this large, which I think it is, I think it's a much larger conspiracy than even I want to admit. I mean, we don't know for sure because the FBI and state law enforcement, they are investigating it, which is concerning because it is the FBI. But I know some people have confidence in them. I have faith in Trump to actually do something about this. But they are going after leftist groups in Utah. To me, that sounds like they found something. Like they were interrogating somebody because they've interrogated like 5 people, I think, including the shooter's not saying anything, I don't think. But it sounds like maybe his boyfriend might have spilled the beans on some stuff. Maybe. So I don't know. I don't know how this is gonna go with the whole law enforcement investigating these groups. And this could become a much larger thing where you get the RICO charges involved, which Trump already confirmed a couple days ago. They're going after Soros and his NGOs with the RICO case.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how this is going to go, honestly. I don't know. I have some skepticism, obviously. I'm not 100% faithful to the FBI, but I do trust Trump because this was like a fourth son to him. And he's already talking about RICO charges and that they're going to investigate leftist groups. That's what they're doing now. So, I don't know. I don't know how this is going to go. I do think there is a much larger conspiracy at play here. Because you can't tell me with a straight face that all these people just knew and they weren't involved in some way. I mean,
if they weren't involved and they knew it, they're still accomplices because they failed to report this to law enforcement. Literally not a single... If they knew that this was going down and refused to report it, they are still legally liable for this. They are conspirators. They helped abet this. They are still, in the eyes of the law, legally liable for the assassination of Charlie Kirk.
Yeah.
And that's what this was. It was an assassination. It was a politically motivated move to eliminate someone of an opposing political ideology. That is what an assassination is. That is literally the definition of an assassination.
Well, according to Wikipedia, it's the killing of Charlie Kirk.
I don't give a fuck what Wikipedia says.
Yeah, but like it's so strange. It's like
I don't really care, Margaret.
yeah, but it is really one of those things where this is it's clear there's more people involved. The Discord chat had like 20 people in it that they didn't say anything. That alone tells me that those people should be thrown in jail. I don't care if they didn't plan anything or not. They were told by the shooter, like, that he was making fun of the shooting, and like they kind of knew it was him that did it, and they didn't say a word about it to anybody. It took, I believe, the father to turn his own son in. I think that's what the story was.
Turned his own son in, which, by the way, that's horrible. Like,
Yeah,
imagine having to turn your own fucking son in.
but he had to.
That would literally fuck your mind up, I suppose.
Yeah, so this is a case where, again, we're not going to know all the details. Like, I would hope, like, we get an update tomorrow. I'm assuming there will be a press conference. They usually do the press conferences and stuff the Monday after. So I'm assuming we get something tomorrow because it is the weekend. But still, we got to make sure we don't let this, like, go away. And the Trump admin has to take this seriously. They are apparently taking it seriously. They're talking about, like, getting RICO charges or firing a bunch of people at the Defense Department. Like, I think that, yeah, right here. Pete Hegseth has ordered staff to find and identify anybody associated with the Pentagon who mocked or celebrated the killing Charlie Kirk so they can be punished, which means they're getting fired and they get discharged. So, that is a good sign that they are taking this seriously. They're not going to piss around and say, oh, well, we'll do something in a month. No, if you're celebrating this, especially the government, you're going to get fired. I like that. Because you have to hold the people accountable. You cannot just celebrate this death and get away with, like, no. There should be some form of accountability. And for those that are saying this is cancel culture, it's not. Cancel culture is finding a tweet 10 years ago of you saying something really edgy and then getting fired for it. That's,
this isn't,
yeah.
This is, cancel culture is when you quote a specific, what's it called? I'm trying to remember his name. Cancel culture is when you quote a specific Eric Andre quote with that had Lance Reddick on it.
Yeah.
And then an entire community of people tore down because you said the N-word, even though it was a tweet you made in high school back in 2006, 2007. And 15 years later, they're coming out of the woodwork to fuck with you and going, oh yeah, no, like, you're a piece of shit for saying this. Like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm quoting a fucking skit.
Yeah, that's
like
15 years ago.
Cancel culture.
Yeah,
this is not cancel culture. What this is ensuring people who celebrated the death of a political actor are being properly punished. Because if you want to go after us and have us fired for saying the N-word online or having politically incorrect opinions, then if you're fucking celebrating the death of somebody that millions and millions of Americans loved, then yes, it's absolutely fair game. You did something lesser to us, and we're responding with an equal to or greater reaction, and no, we're not sorry.
Yeah, well, listen, I want to be clear, I'm not involved in this stuff. I know plenty of people that are. I mean, a lot of people getting fired right now. But it's like, would you really want your kid's teacher to say stuff like this? Would anybody? Publicly? I mean, they're saying this publicly. What if they believe actually behind closed doors? So that's why it's like, I'm not... like
their idea of closed doors is like unencrypted, semi-private, semi-public Discord chats.
Fair enough. But still, it's one of those things where, like, I'm not going to feel sorry for you because this is not the same thing as finding a tweet 15 years ago that was edgy and getting fired. No, you're saying something now about somebody that got killed that you may not like him, but he was a family man. It was not like he was a mass murderer or whatever. He was a family man. He was politically active, and you celebrate his death? Just don't say anything. And then you're not going to get fired.
If you don't like it, just don't fucking say anything. If you're gonna be stupid enough to go out in public and say, hey, he deserved to get fucking domed, yeah, no shit, people are gonna be upset when you
Yeah,
fucking say
I mean,
something
like,
about it.
do you
Like,
think?
I don't understand how stupid you have to be to not understand the actions of your consequences. But then again, these are where, yeah,
Well, these people, I mean, a lot of them, they've never been held accountable. And that's why I think a lot of them are so brazen with tweets. Like, they've never been held accountable ever for anything. But now that might be changing. So, again, we'll see what happens the next couple of weeks. I have faith. I do think we are getting some movement. It sounds like we're getting a movement in the right direction. They are going after some of these groups that mysteriously deleted everything within
by the
hours.
way, by the way, I just want to say this. If you are going to do any kind, and I'm actually explicitly advocating against this, do not go do radical political organization or violence. Not only is that against Discord's terms of services, but that is literally against federal law.
Yeah.
Discord, and I've known this for a while because I am at fault of having done this historically. With in terms of discussing radical nonsense and evading bans on Discord. You anything you say on Discord is not lost when you delete a server. Those logs are not only locally cached on your computer, in which federal law in images as well. Everything you say and type and post on Discord and things people send to you, there are local copies saved on your computer in your Discord app cache. If
Yes.
you only delete a server where you've posted images and such, so like let's say, as a hypothetical, one of the people in this server get caught and they had drawn up plans on how to drop the weapon off, and law enforcement gets a hold of their PC. Well, now law enforcement can go through your Discord, your local computer, your computer's local Discord cache, find the images of the drawn up plans, and congratulations, you are now a conspirator in a first degree aggravated murder case, on
Yeah.
top of other things.
I mean,
And
like,
these things are also locally logged on archive data servers that Discord has. They actively archive things and share information with the NSA and the FBI and anything else. They have been cooperative since about 2019, 2018. People seem to forget Charlottesville happened because that was organized on a Discord server. They've had their grubby fucking mitts in Discord since the very get-go. It's just now that we have a right-wing administration who's going after a left-wing terrorist cell, and now everyone's freaking the fuck out and deleting it. These same people were saying, you can delete your servers and accounts, they're still gonna get it. They're idiots. They don't think more than 5 minutes into the fucking future. I'm sorry. I'm gonna get a little bit worked up here, but Discord is terrible for planning these sorts of things. You use it as a chat app to play games with friends. I'm not gonna disclose what you need to use to do anything like that because I vehemently disavow any kind of violent organization. But damn, some of y'all motherfuckers really don't know how to do this shit well. And I'm just saying,
well,
y'all
I mean,
look like
it's
scrubs.
like obviously, like, this is like these people, they've never been held accountable. That's why I think they've been so brazen in their efforts. They've never been held accountable for anything they've done. And they just think it's going to happen again. Nothing's going to happen to everybody else. We'll be fine. She'll leave everything. Well, that might be changed. Now, Discord is claiming that there is no logs, but this is Discord we're talking about. They're full of shit. But I do think that's kind of it, though, for the current state of affairs with the Charlie Kirk situation. Again, we got to see what happens. There's a lot in motion right now. We'll see when the RICO case will be in a couple months. More than likely, it'll be a while. A lot of people are getting fired right now. And I should be clear about this every time I make this video or these type of videos. We got to condemn all violence. It doesn't matter if it's left, right. It doesn't matter. Condemn all violence. Just condemn it.
Charlie would not want us to be violent.
Yeah.
You can go after these people ruthlessly and with great righteous anger in your heart. But the moment you let the moment that you let the vice of violence become a virtue, you have already lost.
Yeah. So the RICO case, Trump again did bring this up a little bit on Fox News a couple days ago. Just give us a brief rundown how long this is going to take, because, I kind of, I know it takes a
So,
while, but
so I'm going to use an example here. When Enron first had their big financial scandal back in 2001, the FBI conducted an internal 4-year-long
jeez.
investigation, and they formally brought forth RICO cases in late 2020 or late 2005, early 2006. We're obviously not dealing with a multinational oil and gas company, but we are dealing with a vast semi-decentralized network of radicals. Well, I'm not saying this is going to take 4 years. We're going to take a long time, but I wouldn't be surprised if this investigation does take at least, or as I wouldn't be surprised if this does take at least 6 months, closer to maybe a year. You're not going to see it immediately because with a RICO case, you need to have absolute damning evidence to prove that there is systematic corruption, racketeering, and terrorist abetting information here, especially with large financial groups like the Soros Foundation, the like Trust, not Trust Foundation, what's it called? Truth Foundation, something like that. Act Blue, Sandy Hook Promise, which was Act Blue before Act Blue really took off. With all of these entities, you're going to need to conduct very, very long cases. Don't get upset if these things are not immediately brought forth by President Trump, guys. Have some faith.
Yeah,
We're
like
going to deal with
the
this.
the RICO charges, like that's one thing that's that's gonna take a while. No one should expect that soon, though. They were working on some earlier, so this might make it a little bit faster. They might just add on to it, but we'll see. But
Very
really,
least, at the very least, this is going to accelerate a lot of internal efforts, I think.
yeah, I do think though the Trump admin still has to have a crackdown. Like there are stuff they can do right now that would, I think, help a lot with this, because if you don't do anything like ASAP, which I know part of it, you can't do the RICO stuff right now. That's gonna take a long time to get that set up because that's just the way it goes. But if you're able to act now, which you can, just do it. You can't piss around in this case because this could get ugly real quick. People want action now. They don't want to piss around for 5 years and do nothing. So again, the RICO stuff, that takes a long time, takes many months, if not years. This should maybe be a bit faster because of the nature of the case, and then they were investigating this stuff beforehand. So we'll see. We shall see. But any last thoughts, Tyrone?
All I really have to say on this is that I'm not going to say trust the plan because you should always obviously want to hold the administration accountable. I reject the notion that Trump's DOJ and FBI are incompetent. I think that is a very silly notion to have in your mind because the only two things they've really bungled, really the only thing they've bungled is the Epstein stuff. But even then, that was more so just Pam Bondi lying out her ass. Cash Patel and the FBI, they already had data locked signatures being traced to where the assassin was, and I'm pretty sure the reason they withheld that information from Patel for the first 12 hours was because they were not quite certain it could have been them. I have family with an extensive history in law enforcement. I kind of have an idea of how this stuff works. My grandfather worked with the FBI for a very, very long time. These things take time. Don't get upset if information just isn't immediately coming out. Don't lose hope. Just simply wait and trust the plan, guys. We're not going to really see the fruits of this labor until like sometime next year, potentially 2027, which is also why it's absolutely important we get JD Vance elected to the presidency in 2028, because if these things are going to take that long, just imagine how long it's going to take to deal with all these activist judges who are going to say, you can't actually do RICO cases XYZ. We're going to need at least 2 separate administrations to handle this. So lock the fuck in. Let's ensure that we're supporting Trump the whole way. Let's win the House. Let's win the Senate. Let's help Vance win 28, because that's the only way that any of this change is going to be meaningful when investigating these entities for Charlie Kirk.
Yeah. So anyways, folks, I think that's it for today's video. Thank you so much, Tyrone, for joining us today. It was a different type of video. I wanted to bring you in for this anyways, so it's,
Absolutely. I always
yeah.
enjoy bringing the videos.
So thank you all so much for watching. Smash the like button down below, subscribe, share with your friends, and of course, join the channel today.
$1 a month.
Yep, $1 a month. Godspeed to all of you.